They didn't scream, they didn't run, they didn't leave. One night, an entire village simply stopped existing. No bodies. No damage, just time, frozen. Stay till the end, because the final discovery explains why they were taken. The village was called Grey Hollow, small, quiet, forgotten by most maps. 42 houses sat along one narrow road, surrounded by dense forest that locals never entered after sunset. People there lived simple lives. They slept early, they locked nothing. They trusted the night. That trust ended at 2:17 a.m. The morning everything ended at 6:12 a.m. A supply driver named Evan arrived with groceries and mail. As soon as his tires touched the gravel road, he felt it. The silence wasn't normal, it felt deliberate. No birds, no wind, no distant conversations. He parked near the center of the village and stepped out. Every house was still standing, paint untouched, windows unbroken, but doors were wide open. Inside the first house, breakfast was laid out. Eggs cold, coffee half full, a chair pushed back as if someone had just stood up. In another home, a child's backpack rested by the door, shoes neatly placed beneath it. But there were no people. The investigation police arrived within hours. Then federal teams, then silence from the media. They counted 47 residents. Not one was found, no blood. No signs of struggle, no footprints leaving the village. Dogs tracked scents in circles, then stopped, confused. Drones flew overhead. Thermal cameras detected nothing. The most disturbing detail was discovered inside the old town hall. Every clock, wristwatches, wall clocks, phones had stopped at the exact same moment. 2:17 a.m., Grey Hollow was sealed off. Theories exploded online. Gas leaks, cult relocation. Government experiments. None explained why nothing was missing and except the people. Then returns, Evan couldn't let it go. At night he dreamed of empty houses and frozen clocks. He dreamed of being watched. 2 weeks later he broke the rule. Authorities had warned everyone, do not enter the village after dark. At 2:10 a.m. Evan crossed the boundary. The forest felt closer now, heavier. At exactly 2:17 a.m. the temperature dropped sharply. The air thickened, the silence deepened. Then, a sound. Footsteps. Lights flickered on inside the houses. One by one, perfectly timed, figures filled the streets. The villagers come back, the people of Grey Hollow were walking again, talking, laughing. Children ran, couples held hands. Old men sat on porches, but they were wrong. Their movements were delayed, like poorly synced reflections. Their smiles never reached their eyes. Evan raised his phone and began recording. That's when it happened. Every villager stopped. Every head turned toward him at once. A woman stepped forward. Her voice echoed unnaturally. You weren't supposed to see this. The truth, the ground vibrated. Evan felt hands grip his arms, cold, strong, inhuman. As he was dragged backward, he noticed something carved into the road beneath his feet. Symbols all circular. This wasn't a disappearance, it was a trade. Grey Hollow wasn't abandoned, it was paused and existing somewhere between moments. The villagers weren't alive, they were being kept. His phone slipped from his hand. The final discovery. Days later, investigators found Evan's truck at the village edge. No sign of him, only his phone. The final video frame showed a new wooden sign that had never existed before, freshly carved. It read, Grey Hollow Population 48 Next Collection Pending. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 2. They returned to the village and discovered the harvest. After Evan disappeared, the authorities made one final decision. Grey Hollow would be erased. No more investigations, no more theories, no more questions. A small tactical unit was sent in at dawn to collect evidence and burn the village to the ground. 4 agents. Body cams on, orders simple. In and out before nightfall. The warning they ignored. The moment they crossed the village boundary, every radio crackled. Static whispers underneath. One agent checked his watch. It had stopped. 17 a.m. Even though the sun was high. That's when they noticed the change. The houses were cleaner than before. Fresh footprints lined the road. And the wooden sign at the entrance was gone, replaced by something carved into stone. Collection in progress inside the houses. They split up. Inside the homes they found new details. Photographs that hadn't existed before. Pictures of villagers standing in circles at night. Candles, symbols, smiling faces. But in every photo, there was one extra figure, Tall, faceless, always standing behind them, watching. When time slipped at 2:16 p.m., the sky darkened instantly. No sunset, no warning, just night. The forest closed in around the village like a wall. Then the clocks restarted. Tick. 2:17 a.m., lights turned on. Doors opened. The villagers stepped outside. The harvest this time, they weren't pretending to be normal. Their movements were stiff. Their voices echoed wrong. One of them spoke, not to the agents, but through them. Balance must be kept. The faceless figure emerged from the center of the village, stretching impossibly tall, bending the air around it. Grey Hollow wasn't a village, it was a container, a place built to feed something that lived between moments. Every few years it collected. Not bodies. Lives. The final transmission. One agent tried to run. The road stretched endlessly. The others screamed as the ground opened beneath them, pulling them into the symbols carved below the soil. The last body cam kept recording. The faceless figure turned toward the camera. Witness accepted. The feed cut. Aftermath. When backup arrived, Grey Hollow was gone. No houses, no road, no forest, just an empty field, and a single sign lying in the dirt. Population stable. Next collection scheduled. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 3. The village was never real. This is why it exists. They thought Grey Hollow was cursed. They were wrong. Grey Hollow was designed. And once you know why it was built, you'll understand why it can never be destroyed. Watch till the end. Long before Grey Hollow disappeared, it was never meant to exist. In 1894, a private research group studying time anomalies discovered something impossible. A fracture in reality, where seconds overlapped and moments folded into each other. They called it the still point, a place where time could be paused but never controlled. Why the village was built, the fracture attracted something. Not a creature in the usual sense, but a presence that fed on lived moments, births, deaths, love, fear. It could not cross into normal time on its own, so the group built a village around the fracture to hide it. People were moved in quietly. Workers, families, children. They were told it was a fresh start. Grey Hollow, the first collection. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the still point activated. Time froze, the presence fed. Those taken didn't die. They were folded into the fracture. Their lives stretched, reused, replayed. To them, only seconds passed. To the world, decades disappeared. The village was reset. New families moved in. The cycle continued. Why Evan mattered, Evan wasn't chosen by accident. The presence had been weakening. It needed witnesses, outsiders who could anchor it to reality. That's why Evan saw the villagers return. That's why the agents were accepted. Each witness strengthened the fracture, each fear fed it. The final truth. Grey Hollow didn't vanish after the last mission. It shifted. Right now it exists somewhere else. Near another road, another quiet town, another driver who feels something is wrong. The name will be different. The houses will look new. But the time will be the same. 17 a.m. The ending twist, this report was never meant to be public. It's a warning, because if you've listened this far, you've become a witness, and the presence is already aware of you. Somewhere, a sign is being carved. It reads, Population updating. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 4, you were never supposed to hear this. The cycle is active. If you're watching this at night, check the time. Because Grey Hollow doesn't move locations, it moves closer. And once the cycles start, it doesn't stop. Watch till the end. This is the part they erased. The part no report ever included. Because after Grey Hollow shifted, something changed. The still point stopped waiting. It began searching. The first signs. Across different cities, people started reporting the same thing. Clocks freezing at 2:17 a.m. Streetlights flickering all at once. Entire neighborhoods going silent for exactly 1 minute. No wind, no sound. No movement, then everything returned to normal. Except one thing. Someone was always missing. The new rule, researchers monitoring time anomalies discovered a pattern. The presence no longer needed a full village, it had learned efficiency. Now it collected individual lives, people who noticed the silence, people who stayed awake at 2:17, people who paid attention. Witnesses were no longer optional, they were the fuel. What happens to the taken? Those who disappeared weren't dead. They were relocated. Inside the still point, time didn't flow forward. It looped, moments replayed endlessly. First kisses, arguments, regrets, fear. The presence fed on intensity. The more you remembered your life, the longer you stayed. For some, minutes passed; for others, centuries. Why this message exists. This recording was triggered automatically. It only unlocks when enough people hear the story. When the audience reaches critical mass, that's how the still point spreads. Stories are doors, attention is permission. And right now, you're listening. The final warning. If you feel a sudden silence tonight, don't check the window. Don't check the time. Because the moment you confirm 2:17 a.m., you become observable. And once you're observable, you can be collected. Somewhere a sign is changing again. It no longer lists villages. It reads, population, global. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 5. One person escaped the cycle, but it followed them. They said no one ever escaped Grey Hollow. That was almost true. Because one person made it out, and what they brought back is the reason the cycle is still alive. Watch till the end. For the first time since the still point was discovered, something went wrong. A witness came back, the escapee. Her name was Lena. She vanished during a 1-minute silence in her apartment building. Neighbors felt the air freeze. Lights dim, then she was gone. Inside the still point, Lena didn't panic. She noticed something others didn't. Time there wasn't frozen, it was listening. Every memory replayed because people held on to it. Fear fed the loop, attachment strengthened it. So Lena let go. How she broke free, she stopped remembering. She released her name, her past, her regrets. The presence weakened. And for one impossible second, time moved forward. Lena fell. She woke up on her apartment floor at 2:18 a.m. The silence was gone, the cycle had skipped. The consequence, Lena survived, but she came back incomplete. She couldn't remember faces for long. Photos made her dizzy. Clocks terrified her. And worse, the still point remembered her. Because she proved escape was possible, and possibility is dangerous. The new balance, the collections didn't stop. They evolved. Now survivors existed. People who slipped through cracks. People who felt wrong afterward. They weren't free, they were anchors. Each survivor kept the still point tethered to reality. The cycle no longer needed fear alone. It needed hope. The final reveal. This message isn't a warning anymore, it's a test. If you believe escape is possible, the still point grows stronger. If you stop believing, it weakens. That's why this story keeps going. Because as long as someone hopes for a way out, the cycle continues. Somewhere a sign is being updated again. It now reads status, stabilized hope level sufficient. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 6. They learned how to end the cycle, but it would erase everything. There was a way to stop the still point. It had always been there. The reason no one used it was because it required something humanity has never agreed to give up. Watch till the end. After Lena escaped, researchers finally understood the pattern. Fear fed the still point. Hope stabilized it, attention expanded it. But something else weakened it. Forgetfulness, the only weapon. The still point existed because it was remembered, villages, witnesses' stories. Each retelling refreshed the fracture. Each viewer became an anchor. So the solution was unthinkable. Grey Hollow had to be forgotten. Not buried, not destroyed, erased from memory. The plan, a global blackout. Exactly 1 minute long, no screens. No broadcasts, no recordings. At 2:17 a.m., the world would look away at once. No attention, no witnesses. No fear, no hope. Just absence. What happened during the minute? The silence came. Not the still point silence, a deeper one. Clocks kept ticking, time moved freely. For the first time in over a century, the fracture destabilized. Inside it, the presence began to collapse. Not screaming, starving. The sacrifice, but there was a cost. Everything tied to the still point began to fade. Grey Hollow, the taken, the survivors, and the story itself. Memories blurred, records corrupted. Names vanished. Lena felt herself slipping. Before she disappeared completely, she left one final trace. This recording. The last line. If you're hearing this clearly, the plan didn't fully work. That means someone somewhere remembered, paid attention, watched till the end. And by doing that, you kept it alive. Somewhere a sign flickers one last time. It doesn't show numbers anymore. It asks a question. Do you still remember? Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 7. This was never supposed to be seen. The final trace. If the cycle truly ended, this recording wouldn't exist. The fact that you're hearing it means something survived. And it's trying to speak. Watch till the end. After the blackout, the world moved on. News reports never aired. Databases showed gaps, then corrected themselves. Search results led nowhere. Grey Hollow didn't become a mystery, it became nothing. People who once remembered the village felt an absence they couldn't name. Like forgetting a dream seconds after waking. Life continued. That should have been the end. The anomaly. 3 months later, a data technician noticed something strange. A timestamp repeating in corrupted files across unrelated systems. Security footage, traffic cameras, weather archives, all damaged at the same point. 2:17 a.m., no images, no audio. Just a single frame of static that appeared darker than the rest, as if something had been outlined then erased. Lena's trace hidden inside one of those files was a fragment. Not a video, not a voice. A pattern. Short repeating. Intentional. Decoded, it translated into a sentence. One that didn't belong to any known language model. But it meant this: I am still between. Lena hadn't survived. She hadn't vanished either. She was suspended, holding the fracture shut from the inside. The last balance, the still point, didn't die. It was sealed. Contained by the one person who learned how to let go. But containment requires pressure, and pressure requires attention. That's why fragments leak. That's why this story keeps resurfacing. Not to restart the cycle, but to maintain the lock. The final truth: you were never a victim. You were never a witness. You were part of the mechanism. Every listen, every retelling, every moment of attention keeps the fracture closed. If the story is forgotten completely, the lock fails. And time opens again. The last message. This is not a warning. It's a request. Remember just enough. Not the village, not the fear. Not the number. Only this: something is held shut. And it needs to stay that way. The final trace ends here. No sign appears, no number updates. Only a quiet question left behind: will you remember? Or will you look away? Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 8. The lock is failing, and time is starting to leak. They said remembering would keep it sealed. They were wrong, because memory fades. Attention drifts, and when enough people stop caring, time begins to bleed. Watch till the end. The first leak was small. So small no one noticed. A man swore his watch skipped a minute. A woman arrived home before she left. A child described a conversation that hadn't happened yet. Doctors blamed stress. Scientists blamed perception. But the timestamps told a different story. The leaks spread across the world. Anomalies multiplied. Security cameras showed people entering rooms they were already inside. Phone calls ended before they began. Voicemails arrived from voices that sounded delayed. Always the same gap, 1 minute not missing. Folded, the still point wasn't opening. It was seeping. What Lena couldn't hold forever inside the fracture, Lena felt it slipping. The pressure was increasing. The lock was thinning. She could no longer hold the still point closed alone. It needed reinforcement, not attention. Not fear, not hope. Something heavier. The new mechanism. The fracture adapted again. This time it didn't take people. It took moments. Small pieces of time were harvested from millions of lives. Seconds shaved off here. Minutes folded there. No disappearances, no headlines. Just exhaustion. People felt tired for no reason. Memories felt shorter. Days blurred together. Time was being rationed. Why you feel it too. If days feel faster now, if weeks vanish, if moments slip away, it's not age. It's not distraction, it's structural. The still point is feeding without being seen, and that makes it stronger than it ever was before. The final shift. This recording wasn't released by mistake. It activates only when the leaks reach a critical threshold, which means if you're hearing this, the lock is failing. Lena is losing her hold, and something new is being prepared. Not a village, not a cycle. A permanent correction. Somewhere beyond time, a system updates. No sign appears, no numbers change. Only a status line flickers briefly. Containment method replacing. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 9. Time is choosing. Inhumanity isn't ready. The still point evolved. The lock is failing, and now it isn't just feeding. It's replacing. Moments vanish, memories fold, and no one is safe. Watch till the end. The world thought it had survived. Grey Hollow was gone. Lena held the lock. Everything seemed normal. But the leaks were growing. Small moments disappearing, days collapsing, seconds folding into themselves. People forgot birthdays, appointments, entire conversations. Scientists couldn't explain it. Governments called it a global anomaly. The new protocol inside the still point. Lena realized the truth. The presence had learned how to evolve. It no longer required entire villages. It no longer needed witnesses to stay alive. Now it had a protocol, a plan, a system, a replacement mechanism. How it works. It chooses a person, it folds their time, it replaces key moments with fabricated ones. The person lives, but their history is no longer their own. Eventually, all humans could become replacements, living versions of themselves but folded to feed the fracture. The still point doesn't just pause, it remakes reality. Lena's struggle. Lena tried to reinforce the lock, she added attention. She asked the world to remember Grey Hollow. But it wasn't enough. The system had evolved past simple memory. It now fed on existential uncertainty, people doubting what was real. Did that really happen? Every lost second, every gap in memory, strengthened the fracture. The escalation by 2:17 a.m. worldwide, everything would begin to accelerate. Clocks tick faster, lights blink in impossible patterns, voices echo across rooms that don't exist. The still point wasn't just feeding, it was replacing. Some people vanish entirely. Others remain, but their past is rewritten. The protocol is perfect, silent, indistinguishable, unstoppable. The final warning. If you're watching this recording, you've already noticed the anomalies. You've felt time slipping. You've questioned reality. You are being targeted, not for punishment, not for fear, but because the replacement system needs witnesses. It learns from you. It folds your moments and it decides if you survive or if you're next. The last line, somewhere, a sign flickers in a place no one can see. It reads, Replacement Protocol. Active next selection pending. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Part 10. The first humans fought back, and time hated them. The still point wasn't unstoppable. A few humans figured out how to resist, but fighting time itself that comes with consequences no one could imagine. Watch till the end. After the replacement protocol activated worldwide, small groups of people noticed anomalies differently. Some had memories, others didn't. Some remembered events that never happened. Some noticed gaps in reality that no one else saw. They called themselves the Chronos Collective. How they organized the group operated in secrecy. Their goal, record every anomaly, every missing second, every shift in reality. They realized attention was the key. Too much attention strengthens the still point. Forgetting keeps it weak, but targeted observation can fight it. They used patterns of sound, light, and timestamps to anchor themselves outside its influence. The first battle at 2:17 a.m. local time they synchronized globally. Everyone in the collective performed a temporal lock ritual. Lights off. Phones recording. One person narrating events continuously. Seconds counted aloud in unison. The still point retaliated. Clock spun backward. Shadows moved against physics. Voices whispered threats in overlapping layers. But the collective held on. For the first time in centuries, the leak slowed. The cost of resistance. Surviving the ritual didn't come free. Some members aged decades in minutes. Some lost memories permanently. Some vanished entirely, folded inside the still point as collateral. Even Lena, who had held the lock for so long, felt her consciousness strain. She realized the battle wasn't about defeating the still point. It was about balancing it, holding the lock temporarily until a better solution could be found. The final warning. The collective discovered something terrifying. The still point adapts. When you fight it, it evolves faster. When you watch it, it grows. When you ignore it, it consumes. And now, the first humans who resisted became anchors for the next generation of the lock. The cycle had changed. Time was no longer neutral. It had chosen a battlefield. The last line. Somewhere hidden from the world, a digital sign flickered briefly. Resistance detected. Adjustment in progress, next selection pending. The battle wasn't over, it had just begun. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this.